Back with Coach Jason Simpson. UT Martin Skyhawks took on Eastern Illinois, got the win 51-37 back on Saturday. And we'll talk about the game with Coach Jason Simpson. So, Coach, did you script the kickoff return for the touchdown? Nice job with that one.
Yeah, I tell you what, you couldn't ask for a better opportunity. And let me say this: I'm so proud of our special teams. And we weren't perfect in those areas, but we've made strides. It's one of the better special teams, even though we've had the problems with our field goal unit. We didn't have them Saturday in our PATs and field goals, but we know when every time Kevin Barfield touches the football, you got a chance to score. Mm-hmm. And so, it was blocked great, and Coach Hankins has done a great job with that unit. And just knowing you're going to have to score points in this game, that kind of gave us some confidence that carried us the rest of the way.
And we'll talk special teams before we go through the game. Barfield opened the game with a 93-yard kickoff return. Cody Sandlin, 7 for 7 on PATs, and Thad Williams ran back a blocked PAT for a touchdown, which you don't see very often. First in UT Martin's history, and that was with 4:11 to go in the first half.
Well, and let me say this about Thad. I think I heard today he played 90-something plays in the game because they had 103 on offense. So Thad played 90-something plays. And so they were kind of ragging on him that he was out of gas, on the converting that 2 points there, because that's a long run. But Chris, those 9 points are a special team score, not counting the PATs. And we were going to have that with the injuries and stuff that we had. We're having to put together some different opportunities and create some stops and create some field position. And that's what I talked to the team about today. Is that I'm very proud of this team. We've got 5 guys that are starters that didn't play Saturday. And I guess, at least 3 of those 5 won't play the rest of the season. So, every week we're kind of putting a new game plan together based on guys not being there. And those are 2 starters out of the secondary now, Tangano and Fred out, Ben Everett out, Corey Jordan out, so there's 4. And then Tevin Barksdale's missed 2 games. And then John Johnson's coming off the MCL, and he struggled the last 2 weeks because of it, but he's tried to play through it. So I've never had this many injuries from this many starters and significant players on our team. But to put a game together like that, where you got the win, you scored 51 points, and if you look at the stat sheet, you say you only have 380-something yards total offense, which is, by today's measuring stick, that's not a great day. It's an average day. And you gave up 600-something yards of offense. But when you go back and look at the stat sheet, you say we had 5 sacks. We got 5 turnovers, okay? And then your special team scores a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion. That's how you win those games. And there's been games before, we're talking about as an offensive staff, to where we've lost some games and had 550 yards.
Right. And
you make excuses and you say, oh, this, that, and the other. And then you look at the stat sheet, like I said, and you've got the 5 sacks, you've got the 5 turnovers, and the special teams got beat. I'm very proud of this team being able to, says a lot about them, to keep it together and find ways to do it. And, Eastern Kentucky, I'd like to play that one again, in our other losses to Northern Illinois, who's 6-1 right now. It was a 1A school who's 6-1 and probably go undefeated through the MAC, and you and I know they're a quality team. So after 6 games, I'm very pleased with the character and the chemistry of this football team. Now we still got a long way to go, but up to this point, I'm excited about this team because they find different ways.
Well, and we talked about this maybe after the Memphis game, things that you did in the preseason to unify this team and to try to create some kind of team chemistry. Sometimes that you do see, I think, that injuries, as negative as they are, positively they can bring a team together.
Well, and that's part of it for sure. And I think the other part is, when you're 15 seniors that are quality kids, have been in this program for a long time. There's some quality leadership in that junior class. It's coming together. And it's been hard on our coaches and hard on our players. I know offensively the last 3 weeks we've almost been a different type of offense. It's what can we do? Who's healthy? Where can we be productive? And this week you saw something different from us. You hadn't seen us that spread out and asking Derek Carr to run a draw play and things like that. But you got to find a way to get some of our playmakers the ball, and that's what we had to do this week. But Chris, I will say this: this is the first time in 7 years I've been the head coach that we've won our share of games that the head coach says after the game, hey, your special team coaches and your kids on special teams, what are the difference in the game? And tell them what a great job. That was very satisfying.
Yeah, Coach, we can't go through the whole game. There's too much scoring. But let me say this first. I had heard you talk about Eastern Illinois and heard their broadcast.
I was right, wasn't I?
Oh my! I've never really seen anything like that in person.
It's impressive.
Yeah,
the quarterback is as advertised. You know, and talking to Coach Babers before the game, I mean, who had been at Baylor, you know, he said, hey, you know, if the guy was at Baylor, he would play. I mean, he's that good. The quarterback is, and his release and the way he throws the ball in the run and moves around is incredible. And the wide receiver, you know. To me, you know, I haven't seen the kid from Tech yet, but he's the best in the league at what he does. Now, we've got another set of issues this week with Murray because they've got 4 that can go, but, you know, are they as good as that single guy? I don't think so, because that guy's the real deal.
The one thing that surprised me the most with Eastern Illinois is the pace.
Yeah.
I mean, even doing the game on the radio, you don't have time to take a breath. It's like playing. Right. It's like doing a high up and down basketball game, almost.
And they do a great job with that. They get on the ball and they get going. And you know, now one thing about having that many plays is, you know, I look back at some of the games where we've had 90-something plays before. We've never had 100, but we've had in the 90s. Normally, it's because you have turnovers and you're getting the ball right back. So you go 8 plays and then you get a turnover. Well, if they score, you're getting it right back. Right. So you put another 7-play drive together, you know, there's 14 right there. So, you know, sometimes it doesn't always mean we win the game, but it definitely does play a toll on your defense.
And in preparing for that, like I've never seen us have to prepare before, you had to be ready immediately when one play was over to get ready to defend the next.
Well, we did, and our defense did a nice job. Defense staff did, getting ready for that. And, I mean, it's still, you couldn't simulate it because I saw our defense get tired at times. I saw us a couple times not getting lined up, and it cost us, you know, just because you can't simulate exactly how fast that's going. But one thing we did, we practiced against each other, our first-team offense and our first-team defense this past week, and we have some different tempos. We don't quite go as fast as they do because that's what they've done. You know, Eastern Illinois has done, you know, ever since they put their offensive plan together in the spring. But I think that helped us prepare for it as well.
And you almost had a bend, don't break attitude, and,
right?
And you have to have that against them.
Well, you know, now the last touchdown, and you know, Coach Bird, you know, we didn't want to give up the fast throw, you know, and let them hit one, get a pass interference call. So we kind of let them take 4 minutes off the clock. You know, now, did we want them to get 6 yards of run? No, we didn't. But you know, the last one, we kind of said, hey, if they're going to concede and give them, you know, 4 minutes for one touchdown, we'll live with that, and that's what we did there. But besides that, now there was several times we blitzed and tried to get after them, and
that surprised me. And I don't know if I was talking to you or Randy before the game, but I didn't think we'd get to the quarterback that much. We sacked him 5 times.
Well, you know, kind of the strategy of that is this: if you know, anytime you take away the first read, and the guy's got to get to his second read, now you're talking about, you know, 2 point. If you can get him to hold it for 2.4 seconds, then you got a chance. And that's what was happening, and we were able to get those 5 sacks.
Also in that, when you look at what we did defensively in tackles and sacks, 2 names just kept popping out all over the place.
Well, that many plays.
Yeah, well, and that makes a difference. I mean, we've not even talked about Tony Bell on the radio.
Yeah, I'm very. You know, Tony's a kid that's getting better every week. You know, wish we could have redshirted him last year, but he had to play on special teams for us, and he was a safety that, you know, has grown into a linebacker. But you know, he's athletic enough to be an every down player. And him and Chris Wright are really playing well inside for us, and you know, that's awesome because we certainly need it.
Let's talk about what happened offensively a little bit here, and it was a tremendous day for Derek Carr. As much as Garoppolo was hyped going into the game, Carr was 29 for 38 passing the football, 312 yards, 4 touchdowns. Quentin Sims, I thought kind of quietly at times, ends up with 9 catches and 101 yards and a touchdown. And again, Jeremy Butler's catching passes that Carr's throwing that I didn't even, I mean, at one point he looked like Houdini. He just kind of slipped away at the last second, and he was there and he pulled in the football.
Right. Well, talk about Q first. I mean, you know, that's, you know, Derek's security blanket, and that's where he tries to get the ball to first. And you know, we try to get you know, Q may not be the fastest guy out there in the field, but he's so big and strong, and he's able to slip out of some short passes and make a guy miss and stuff. So that was kind of part of the game plan, to get the ball in his hands. And then Jeremy's gotten better every week, and I think you see Derek starting to feel comfortable with him and trying to find him. Now, I'll be honest with you, some of the throws were ill-advised. When I say that, and when you look on tape, you say, hey, that's not where we need to go with the ball.
Even some of the completed passes?
Yes,
oh, okay.
Some of the completed passes. But, you know, Jeremy's so big and strong and can jump that, at times he looks like he's the best player on the field, the best skilled guy on the field. And, he just went up and got the ball, and it's fun to watch him.
Okay, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about the matchup with Eastern Illinois, and Skyhawk Talk continues from Snappy Tomato Pizza on the UT Martin Skyhawk Sports Network.